Advent is the start of a new church year. It's a new season. We switch which gospel we're mostly reading through. This year we're switching from Luke to Matthew, and we let the Advent adventures begin. So, what are we doing in chapter 24? Who reads the end of the book before the beginning? If this were like a mystery novel, we're essentially jumping to the chapters that have the breakdown or the big reveal right before the wrap-up. Be ready, keep alert. Jesus is talking about the end times. Quite literally, we're reading about the end before we get to the beginning. But it's interesting what Jesus says and the implications of reading it now. No one knows the day or hour except for God alone. Since we know already that no one knows the day or hour, we can maybe set that possible distraction aside and look at all of the other lessons that are there. I wonder if maybe that's why Jesus says this, so we can focus on what we do now. Keep alert, be ready, watch, learn from the lessons that Jesus has to share, and wonder about how God is at work in the world and what that might mean for us now. So when we go back to the beginning and live out our lives now, we will have an attention or an alertness we might not otherwise. What happens when you know what's going to happen in a story? You watch the details more. You notice what everyone's doing and everything that's going on with that knowledge and understanding in mind. And it reads differently, doesn't it? Welcome to Advent. Advent comes from the Latin for to come or arrive. It's about what is to come, who is arriving. So we read that first, where we're going. We enter this season with this end in mind and can engage a little differently. Again, not just with the story, but with the world too. We start by reading about the end. So we enter this season with some perspective, right? An understanding of where this is going, and we can engage in the world with that in mind. What does this look like? Where might this be going? Well, the reading from Isaiah for today really does cast a vision. And that vision gives us a little bit of a glimpse or an idea, maybe. In the reading, we find that God is central, visible, and earnestly sought out. As the reading says, many peoples shall come and say, "Let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob, that God may teach us God's ways, and we may walk in God's paths." And God shall judge. God judges and arbitrates, and then what? There is peace and hope and community. From warring opponents to agricultural communities, violence to growth, tending crops, swords into plowshares, spears into pruning hooks. Neither shall they learn war anymore. This week especially, that hits hard. There's a lot of busyness this time of year in general. There's also a lot of tragedy and unrest and uncertainty right now. And we can get caught up in a lot of, everything. Advent helps set a tone and offers a perspective to counterbalance that a bit. getting a glimpse of that vision of where this is all going gives us a chance to engage with that in mind, to join in the work towards realizing the vision of the world God would have for us, to watch and wait and be alert for the unexpected ways God's work surrounds us and the unexpected opportunities we will have to join in, to recognize that because we are alert for it, and even do some of that work of hope. Happy, hopeful Advent to you all. Amen.